Hello everyone. Today's topic is about test on density of cement. Explanation of density test on cement. Determination of density test on cement is explained by Indian Standard Code 4031 Part 11 1988. Apparatus required: leach or clear flask, weighing balance, spatula and a small plastic tray. Solution: kerosene. As per Indian Standard Code, kerosene or naphtha having a specific gravity not less than 0.7313 shall be used in the density determination. Instead of water, a solvent like kerosene is used to avoid any possible hydration of cement. Kerosene is a non-polarizing solvent. Kerosene is used to remove air bubbles between the cement particles and doesn't react with cement. Temperature: the temperature of the laboratory shall be maintained at 27 plus or minus 2 degrees Celsius. Apparatus: water bath. The temperature of the water bath shall be maintained at 27 plus or minus 2 degrees Celsius. Cement sample: the cement sample shall be taken in accordance with the requirements of Indian Standard 3535 1986. Leach Atelier flask. Standard Leach Atelier flask conforming to the dimensions as per Indian Standard 4031 Part 11 1988. Dimensions of Leach Atelier flask: top diameter 50 millimeter diameter, bottom diameter 90 millimeter diameter, height of Leach Atelier flask 243 millimeter. Procedure: before commencing the test, leach atelier flask is completely dried carefully. Noted that no water should present inside the leach atelier flask. The flask be filled with kerosene to a point on the stem between the 0 and the 1 ml mark. The inside of the flask above the level of the kerosene shall be dried if necessary after pouring. The first readings shall be recorded after the flask has been immersed in a constant temperature water bath maintained at about room temperature for a sufficient interval before making either of the readings, so as to avoid variations greater than 0.2 degrees Celsius in the temperature of the liquid in the flask. For example, initial readings may be noted after maintaining kerosene in the flask at constant temperature is equal to 0.6 milliliter. Analytical balance. Analytical balance capable of reproducing results within 0.0002 grams with an accuracy of plus or minus 0.0002 grams. Note: self-indicating balance with equivalent accuracy may also be used. Material: kerosene, free of water or naphtha, having a specific gravity not less than 0.7313 shall be used in the density determination. A weighed quantity of cement, about 64 grams for Portland cement, shall then be introduced in small amounts at the same temperature. It is advisable to use a rubber pad on the tabletop when filling or rolling the flask. Care shall be taken to avoid splashing and to see that the cement does not adhere to the inside of the flask above the kerosene. A vibrating apparatus may be used to accelerate the introduction of the cement into the flask and to prevent the cement from sticking to the neck. After all the cement has been introduced, the stopper shall be placed in the flask and the flask rolled in an inclined position or gently whirled in a horizontal circle so as to free the cement from air until no further air bubbles rise to the surface of the kerosene. If a proper amount of cement has been added, the level of the liquid will be in its final position at the same point of the upper series of graduations. The final reading shall be taken after the flask has been immersed in a constant temperature water bath, maintained at about room temperature for a sufficient interval before making either of the readings so as to avoid variations greater than 0.2 degrees Celsius in the temperature of the kerosene in the flask. Final reading should be taken every half an hour interval so as to avoid variations and for the appearance of the constant readings. For example, 4:10 p.m. 21.1, 4:40 p.m. 21, 5:10 p.m. 20.9, 5:40 p.m. 20.9, 6:10 p.m. 20.9. Calculation. The difference between the first and the final readings represents the volume of liquid displaced by the mass of cement used in the test. The density shall be calculated as follows. To the second place of decimal, density is equal to mass of cement in grams divided by displaced volume in centimeter cube. Calculation. Density is equal to 64 divided by 20.9 minus 0.6. Final reading minus initial reading. Answer is density is equal to 3.152 grams per centimeter cube. Two tests shall be carried out and the average shall be reported. Retest. If the difference between the two values differs by more than 0.03, the test shall be repeated.